Are you ready to go after the rest of 2022 and reach your goals that you may have even doubted and thought, I'm not going to reach? It's time to go all in. It's time to set ourselves up for success for 2023. Let's do this right now.
Who is ready to end 2022 strong? Like, friend, it is not over. It is not over until the clock strikes 12 on December 31st, right? When we go from New Year's Eve to the new year, that is when it is over. So many people look at the amount of time left and they give up. Like immediately give up. They are done. They don't think that they're going to have any success or they're not going to reach their goals. So they give up. Better luck next year. We also see this a lot of times in health and fitness goals, right? Like better luck next year. I'll try again at the beginning of the year. Listen, this is your business and you have the opportunity to make a massive change in the time that we have left. Whenever you're watching this, right? Whenever you're watching this, you have time to make a massive amount of change. The question is, are you going to do it? Or are you going to sit there, stress out, and allow yourself to just play small for the rest of 2022? Whether you have 8 weeks left, 6 weeks left, 4 weeks left, 2 weeks left, it is not over until it's over. So do not allow the amount of time left to stop you from attempting to reach your goals. What's the worst case that happens? You don't, but at least you have action plans in place and you're setting yourself up for success for 2023. At minimum, that's what's going to happen here. Okay. So, one of the things that I do, and I'm going to teach you other things and talk about other things today, but I have daily non negotiables in my business, and I would love to see everyone set these up, even when it's not the end of the year. But like these are non negotiables that I do. And we're going to talk about some of these today, but because I'm going to give you like the massive amount of I want you to have the most success as possible. So I'm going to give you all of my favorite tips to really make that massive impact. But obviously, I get visible every single day. This is a daily non-negotiable for me. I serve others every single day. It's not about me, right? So that is a daily non-negotiable for me. I do short-term marketing, which is like Facebook, Instagram. I do long-term marketing, which is searchable content, YouTube, podcasting, right? I learn something new every single day and I take action. I do not sit around and say, this is my someday list. I'll do this one of these days. I look at my someday list, which is get it done in this quarter, and I get it done every single day. And this is always where I can see it right here. It's going to be blurry when I put it over here, but it is always where I can see it. It's always in my face. I highly recommend whether you use a task management system or project management system like Asana or Trello or just your Google Calendar, like find some way to send yourself daily reminders because life gets away from us. Life goes by fast, right? The days go by fast. We have a million things probably on our desk. Our phone is vibrating and going nuts all the time. Also recommend turning those notifications off. We have meetings. We may have a 9 to 5. We have children. We have spouses. We have fur babies. Like things take our time all over the place. The question is, are you going to allow this to keep happening or are you going to set some boundaries in place that you can get stuff done to build the business that you want? Building the business that you want will give you the life that you want to create. But we've got to find the pockets of time to get the work done, right? To get the deliverables done, to get those non-negotiables done so that we can create that life. Or we can continue to do the things the way that we've been doing them and be dissatisfied with the results that we're getting. And I don't want that for you. Okay. All right. So number one, we're going to get right into it 3 minutes in. I'm not waiting. We're getting to this because I want to make this video as short as possible so that you can digest it and go back and watch it and literally put this video on replay if you can in your car, even if you're not watching, right? Listen to this. I tell my coaches this. Can I like listen to you over and over because I literally want you to brainwash me. Like that's really what I want. So this is not a cult, but let me brainwash you basically. Let me get this in your head of what you can be doing every single day to build the business of your dreams. Okay. Number one, be consistent. I know it's not the thing you wanted to hear, right? Be consistent. Be consistent with what? Your content, your video, your lead generation. Why are we going to be consistent with our content? Because we build our businesses in this day and age, we build our businesses one piece of content at a time. Plain and simple. One piece of content at a time is introducing someone into what we do, introducing someone into our life, introducing someone to our brand, introducing someone to how we can serve and support them or have a transformation in their life. So why are we going to be consistent? Because we're building our business one piece of content at a time. If you think about a brick and mortar, or maybe you do have a brick and mortar, you're potentially building your business one customer that walks in the door at the time. But how do we get that traffic, right? We have to have brand awareness. People have to know that we're there, right? And what's the best way to let them know that we're there these days? Our social media, advertising, right? Social media is free unless you do the pay to play game, which is fine too. But you have all this free options at your fingertips. Literally, when we have a keyboard, right? Like you have it at your fingertips. The question is, are you taking advantage of it? Now, this is not to scare you. This is not to bring scarcity or lack into your life, but we are going into a season, especially the end of the year, where we're going to see a lot more noise. There's a lot more noise that we have to kind of swim through and push to the sides to get to what we want. The same thing is true with when you put your content out, right? Like you get to break through the noise, which means, and we're going to talk about this, but we're going to break through the noise with giving algorithm happy content and then also putting out content that's going to be better for our ideal person. And I'm going to make a note because I know I'm going to forget if I don't do this. So, and I'm showing you how to do a masterclass that is real, raw, and it's okay. So also take notes of this. Okay. So anyhow, let's see. We have video. I'm going to talk about this later too, but obviously video visibility, whatever, however you want to call it, like showing your audience who you are. Like if you plan on selling something in 4 weeks, right? Or in 2 weeks, the best time to do it was yesterday and the whole past year, but the next best time to do it is now. So when are you going to take action and start doing that? And then lead generation, again, we're going to talk about this too, but really just being consistently every day pulling in leads for your business, right? Those consistent actions are huge, huge for your business. Number 2, believe that you are going to reach your goals, even if you don't know how. If you are already saying it's not going to happen, let me give you some insight. It's not going to happen. It will not happen. Plain and simple. It will not happen because you don't even believe it's going to happen, which means you don't have the confidence to show up. You don't have like the belief in yourself. Borrow my belief until you have your own, but I need you to believe it's going to happen. And I don't mean toxic positivity. I mean, believe it's going to happen. Believe that you're going to take the inspired action by watching this masterclass to do the things that you get to do to grow and build this business and end 2022 strong. Like I said, worst case, you're setting yourself up for success in 2023. Worst case. But what if we got sales in the process? What if we got questions in the process? What if we got leads in the process? Huge, right? Absolutely. Okay, so there are 2 things that I love doing. And if any of you have done my abundance or my money mapping, like that is huge. Like basically I'm putting out what I have already coming in for the month that we're looking at. And I'm like, how can I increase this, right? Or how, like, where do I want to go? So it's in my face all the time. The second thing is, and everybody has access to this and everybody can do this, is Post-it notes. So for instance, let's say, of course, I'm not going to have a pencil here because I'm really not prepared, right? Let's say that, where are my markers? I clean my desk. This is what happens. 1 second. Let's say that I want to add, I don't know, 3 people into my membership. So this is not the best marker, but that's okay. So 3 people in Omni VIP. So I can put this like right here. So I'm constantly seeing it, right? Or I can put, if that stresses me out, right? If that stresses you out, because sometimes when we say, I want to add 3 people to a program and we only get 1, it puts us in immediate lack. So I want to make sure that we're working on our mindset and working with how we work. So then what I would do is I would be like, okay, I want to serve and support 30 people, change their lives. Now, why am I saying 30 people? Because it may take 30 people to get the 3, right? And that's a 10% conversion, right? So I could say that, right? I want to serve and support 30 people. I want to change their lives. I want to get to know them. I want to bring value into their lives and see how I can serve and support them, right? So that's another thing that I can do. You can do that through many different ways. And we're going to talk about that in our lead gen portion of this. But I want you to think about, like, how can I set reminders? You can do your phone screen. So you can do a phone lock screen. You can create those inside of Canva. You can do a screensaver for your computer, but just having those reminders. The other thing that I do is, so I have an Android. So if you have, I'm sure iPhones do this too. But for instance, if I go to my clock, so I have every hour affirmations come on and it will read it to me, right? I am open to limitless possibilities. It's time to take on the world. That's my wake up one. More and more good things keep happening. All my needs and desires are met. I attract new people every day. There is an abundance of wealth. So anything, and I change these all the time. Money is not limited by anything. So I change these up all the time. So if I wanted to serve and support 30 people, I would say serve and support 3 people today. I would divide it by how many every days I have and figure that out, right? So I would block this off. So again, it's a constant reminder coming in to me that I get to hear. So how can we have those constant gentle reminders, whether again, it's Post-it notes, and you can put Post-it notes at your desk, on your mirror, on your refrigerator, wherever it works for you. And you can get like the full sticky ones. I don't know. Oh yeah, I do. I have those. So this is like full stick ones. They stick. It's like the whole back is sticky. So you can do those. If you have a whiteboard in your office, write it on there. If you want to do like a big poster on your wall, you can. If you want to do, like I said, abundance or money mapping, that works too. And that training is, I think, in my free group. If you guys need that, just message me. But what I want you to know is that the constant reminders are going to help us keep the top of mind goals, right? And also, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's just having a really clear vision of your why and having that written somewhere so that you know every time you come to your desk or every time you pick up your phone or every time you sit down with your iPad, you know what your goal and your plan is. Because again, like I said before, we're busy. We have a lot of distractions. Why can't we have good distractions? Like the Post-its, the reminders on our phone, this lock screen, all those things, right? But believe it will happen. That is the main thing I want you to know. Believe it will happen. And you're halfway there. Because if you don't believe it's going to happen, it definitely won't. And I want you to keep that belief going constantly, even after 2022. All right. The next thing is we want to create a better content strategy. Okay. So when we are creating content, and I said this before, every piece of content is building your business you're building your business one piece of content at a time. You're growing your following one piece of content at a time. You're getting sales one piece of content at a time, right? Or nurturing for sales one piece of content at a time. You're positioning yourself as the expert one piece of content at a time. And that content can look different. Or we create content with passion, content with a plan, content that has a purpose, content that is potent or persuasive. It's like all the P's, right? So I'm asking you to post, not to post, which is also a P, but to post a piece of passionate content that makes you feel very passionate, that will have your audience feel very passionate. A piece of content that is planned. Like, I know the plan for this piece of content. I know exactly what it's going to do. A piece of content that has a purpose. Like, what is the purpose of this piece of content? What is it going to do? What is my goal with this piece of content? And then when we think of like potent or persuasive content, that can be like a little bolder. It can be like a little more in your face, but really activating your audience to make moves. It doesn't have to be mean. It doesn't have to be bold. It can be much softer in the process, but how can we create more content that we purposely post, right? That we're not just like checking a box every single day. I got to post something today. Let me go to Pinterest and look. Can Pinterest give you inspiration? Potentially, yes. But I don't want you copying and pasting. That does not serve you. It does not serve your audience. It doesn't serve your business. It doesn't serve the growth that you're trying to have in the business that you want to create. The other type of content you can add to that P is personality. And so personality content is also going to show them inside of you, as long as we don't do too much of that, because we still want to make sure that we're giving that value. We want to make sure that we're teaching, right? Like that plan, that purpose content is going to be very value educational based and position us as the expert, which is another P. So make sure you write those down so that you can say every piece of content I put out has this purpose. And if you're posting a lot of quotes and a lot of, things just to make people feel good, it will friend zone you. I want to be friend zoned, right? We want people to we want to activate them to be future buyers, even if they're not a buyer right now. Even if they're not part of our programs right now or a part of our community, right? That's what we really want. Somehow bring them in as a part of our community. Some people will never buy, but maybe they become your biggest cheerleader and your biggest source of referrals. That's not a bad thing. They're going to tell other people about you. And at some point, maybe they'll get there. But that's not why we're showing up. We're showing up for the people who are going to get there. We're showing up for the people who are going to make the move, right? Because we already believe that this is going to happen, because we already talked about that. So we believe it's going to happen. So it's time for us to do the work, right? Do the inspired, consistent actions, which is that content. So I cannot wait to see your new content strategy after watching this. Okay, the next thing that we're going to work or talk about is algorithm happy content. So what makes the algorithm happy? And go ahead, let's do this together. Some people are going to hate this word, but it's almost always video. Let's talk about the platforms, for example. Obviously, video on YouTube, right? We know actually YouTube Shorts is killing it right now. So if you already create Reels and TikTok, why are we not putting them on YouTube Shorts? Pinterest actually is also going very video. I've went viral for me, what we call mini viral on Pinterest. So again, in taking that repurposed reel or TikTok and putting it in as an idea pin. That's not a fast moving platform. It is a very long-term marketing strategy, as is YouTube. But again, they like video. So let's talk about the ones that are going to matter and make the most, they're going to give you the most bang for your buck, which is your time, through the end of the year. But it doesn't mean we forget the other platforms. Facebook, obviously. Facebook Lives, huge. Reels, huge. Very great content, right? Using Facebook backgrounds, which is a video. Great way to get your content in front of your audience. Instagram, Reels. We know it's Reels. Carousels. Stories is where we really nurture the audience we already have. It is never going to really get us new audiences, or typically new followers. But what it will do is nurture the ones that we have. So if you have a really big following, make sure you're nurturing them there. TikTok, video, right? Yes. LinkedIn, live video, and polls, and also carousels, but they call them something else, and I can't remember right now. But yes, are we doing these things? Are we making the algorithm happy by feeding it the type of content that is going to be prioritized in the newsfeed so that our audiences see them, especially this time of year. The next thing is, if you're creating a better content strategy, are you also emailing the list that you have? Let's be honest. I don't care if you have 3 people on your email list. They don't know. Treat your email list like you have 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever the number is that you're wanting to get to, and you'll get there. And if you're not feeding or sending emails because you're afraid of unsubscribes, it will happen. Newsflash. People unsubscribe to me every email I send out. Do I know why they unsubscribe? No, I don't ask. Number one, they're maybe trying to go for inbox zero. Number two, maybe they're just trying to declutter their inbox. Number three, it doesn't mean that they hate me. It doesn't mean that they don't like the content. It just means they don't want it in their inbox. And that's okay. Send the email anyhow. Risk it. It's okay. Nurture that audience as well. And start with giving them some value before you move on into the offers that you're going to have this upcoming season. All right, let's talk about lead gen, because I said I wanted to go over that. So lead generation is when we are finding leads to come in. So that could be new followers, that could be new people on our email list, but it's always having new, fresh faces, right? Now, some leads come in and they need nurtured, right? We all have different relationship boundaries, right? So some people can get married after 3 dates. Some people need to be engaged for 5 years, right? So we all have different trust and we all have different movement time frames. So you don't know who's coming in, but we're already putting out the content every single day because we know we're building our audience, our content, we're nurturing one piece of content at a time. So we already know we're doing that, right? So what is the lead generation strategy? How are you creating leads? Do you have a lead magnet, a freebie? Are you creating an upcoming challenge? Do you have a free group where you ask for their email so you can also email them? Do you have a workshop or a masterclass coming up where you can basically give them a lot of value in exchange for their email address? Are you more of a brick and mortar? Do you have a coupon or a free shipping or something like that that they get in exchange for their email address? Always be getting leads or finding leads. Like at minimum, you should be getting 1 new lead a day. I'm about 100 new leads every month, give or take. But that's always my goal, which is what, 3 a day? 3 a day. But a lot of that happens with me grabbing attention and having a great strategy on the back end so that when they see that video that goes a little bit viral for me, when they see that piece of content that evokes emotion from them, they have the opportunity to find out more. They can click follow, or they can go to my links and say, oh, I want to subscribe to this, or I want to find out more about this. I want to download this freebie. I want to listen to her podcast. Like I have multiple ways. I am always pulling in leads, and you should too. So think about ways that you're already getting email addresses, ways that you're already attracting traffic and leads, and how can we improve on that? Thing is, you get to create amazing offers. Now, I'm assuming you already have amazing offers, right? So we get to make sure that number one, we have a special offer for the holidays. So that doesn't mean we have to discount. We can also do bonuses. So we can bonus them something. You don't have to do the whole, oh, I'm giving you 50% off. Or it can be if it's a product base, it can be buy one, get one 50% off. Or give one to a friend or something, right? So create those amazing offers. Those offers are what is going to build your business as well, right? Because that is the revenue that you bring in to build the life that you want to design. And then the last thing is that we get to sell the offers, which means you get to talk about them more than 3 times. We talked about the noise. We talked about all the notifications we have on our phone and how busy we get, right? We talked about all those things. So why are we literally putting out a link? We're dropping a link. We're like, oh, here's this for sale. Grab this special. And we may do it 3 times and then we give up because we didn't get any sales. No, just like the content we talked about, you do the same thing with when you're selling, right? Giving value, talking about it, seeding it, which means we just like, I talk about this more in my Omni VIP program. Or you can learn more about this if you check out my Black Friday Accelerator. Or to create better content, you totally need to ignite your raving fans. It's a step-by-step guide, right? So we didn't really say go to thevisibilityqueen.com and find out all my offers, right? Which I just did. But I didn't say that. And I don't have to do that in my content. And I don't always have to drop links. I can do things like drop it your favorite emoji if you want more information. DM me if you want more information. Sometimes I drop the link. Check out the comments for the link. Check out my link in bio for the link. Grab yours here. Hashtag whatever if you want the link. Like there's so many different ways that we can do that don't seem like this is just me dropping a link and that's my only goal is for you to click on this link and buy from me. Because that's not your only goal. You built a business to serve and support people. You built a business to help people. Yes, we all get to pay our bills because otherwise if we don't, then it is a hobby. And nobody wants a really expensive hobby, right? But we get to serve and support our audience. And the more that we can do that, the more that we're going to build something bigger than us. The more that we're going to influence people, the more that we're going to impact people, the more memorable we're going to be. And it's not our customer's job to remember who we are. It's our job to show up so much they don't have the opportunity to forget, which goes back to the consistency, which goes back to the better content, which goes back to the lead gen, which goes back to creating amazing offers, right? So when people say to me, Chrissy, what's one thing I can do like to really make an impact on my business? It's not one thing. There is not one thing. If I had to say one thing, it would be consistent. But then it's in a million things, right? Like not a million, but like 3 things really: content, video, lead generation. Those are huge, right? Be consistent in your belief too. Be consistent in creating a better content strategy every single day. I work on my content strategy every single day. I will never stop building a better content strategy. I will never stop working with thinking about sales psychology. I will never stop thinking about all these things, why people buy. I always invest in myself and work on those and teach those. I get better. My audience, my clients, my program members get better. That's just the way it is. I grow, I evolve. They do too. You should be evolving as well. All right, and then amazing offers, and then also talking about it more than 3 times. So I want you to ask yourself, where do you need the most support? Where do you feel like you're decent, but we can improve? Where do you get to be more consistent? Everybody has somewhere they can be more consistent, including me. So let's say, for example, I'm only posting 1 video on YouTube every single week. Okay, I can go to 2, right? I'm only going live on TikTok once a week. I can go to 2. I'm only working out 3 days a week. I can work out 4 days a week, right? We can always improve somewhere on our consistency, and we're going to see the results. Growing a business is not a comfortable thing. It should be a fun thing. I want you to have fun with all of this. I don't want any of this to feel like you're checking off that box because it's going to show to your audience. If you're stressed and you hate doing it, and I always say this, if you're on a platform that you absolutely hate, get off of it. If you don't like the platform, don't be on it. Be consistent on one place that you love, add another to see if you love it. But be consistent one place first before we jump everywhere. You don't need to be everywhere. How many people just like had a sigh of relief when I said that? You don't need to be everywhere. Are you calling yourself the visibility queen? If not, you're good. I do believe we should be on 2 platforms. But be where you want to be. Be where it makes sense for you. If you are looking for more support, I would love to serve and support you. I have many different programs. One is Omni VIP, which is a program that literally you get every monthly micro mastery that I do, and some of the past ones, like the FOMO Academy, which is the Foundations of Marketing Your Business Online, and so many great things. We're going to be doing Ignite Your Visibility on Instagram. We have Ignite Your Visibility on TikTok. We have programs to help you ignite your raving fans, how to create your offers, how to launch. I used to hate launching, so I wanted to teach my method to love launching and to fall in love with that. But really, I'm here to serve and support you. And sometimes it's just taking those micro mastery programs and learning how to do things in a better way. And the next thing I have to offer is my visible inner circle. And that's where we get really more close proximity. You get a weekly call with a group setting where we all feed off of each other's energy. And you also get Telegram access to me so you can ask me questions on the go. And that is always great too, because you don't have to wait until the call, because sometimes you need support right then and there. So I'm going to drop both of those informations below. And if you just want to join maybe a monthly program to see what that feels like, check it out, because if you sign up for one of my other programs within 30 days of that, I will always refund that money back to you or take it off of the program that you want to purchase. I'm so excited for you to have the best rest of your 2022, because it is not over. And I want you to set yourself up for success for 2023. Let me say this again. The best time to start was yesterday and all this year. But give yourself grace if you didn't, because we can start today. You can change your life by just saying to yourself right now, I'm done. I'm done with the playing small. I'm done with not being consistent. I don't do inconsistency. I don't do overwhelm. I do play big, and I do play uncomfortable. And I'm going to change that right now moving forward. That split decision and that conversation you have with yourself can change so many things. The trajectory of your business can change in 1 second, and I can tell you that as proof. But you get to make the decision. You get to make sure that your why is big enough and that you really mean it. And if you really mean it, big, crazy, amazing things are going to happen. Are you going to mean it, and are you going to let them? I sure hope so, because I want to see you everywhere, and I want to see you showing up, and I want to see you blowing my mind, because that is what makes me so happy. Seeing you show up and show the world, not the big, huge world, but your world, how amazing you truly are. You are amazing, and I believe in you, but we get to make sure that our audience sees that, because they don't know until they see you show up consistently, where they can build that like, know, and trust and fall in love with you too.